let's check in with the comments here. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I am a few minutes late. My headphones went MIA. Let's see, they weren't even plugged in. Can you hear me okay? I just want to make sure my headphones are cooperating with me. Welcome, everyone. Okay, good. You can hear me. Excellent. Yeah, that was a moment of panic. I was like, where are my headphones that are always connected to my computer? They must have, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened, to be honest. Back today. So I'm taking 3 volunteers. And okay, great. I'm glad I said your name correctly. So let me just tell you a little bit about what you can expect today. So I'm taking 3 volunteers to... It's fine. You don't have to give the name if you're not comfortable. But you're in the suburbs. I grew up right by the stadium, the Bills Stadium. Borderline Orchard Park, Blaisdell. So fun. I love it. Yeah, we could have an in-person session. Simsi, am I saying that right? I hope so. Are both of your C's pronounced like S's? Simsi? So we're going to wait a couple minutes for everyone to come in. Okay, great. I'm glad I said your name correctly. So let me just tell you a little bit about what you can expect today. So I'm taking 3 volunteers to receive a reading today, an oracle card and intuitive reading from me around your relationship. So what I love to do more than anything is to support people, typically women. And as you see, there's many women here. So just listen for the pieces that I'm looking for. Is someone who's in a long-term, committed, monogamous relationship. That's where my expertise lies. It's where my medicine is. And so if you're not in a long-term, committed, monogamous relationship, that's beautiful, and it's just not what I serve best. So if you still want, you can still receive medicine and from the messages that will come through today. But I'm asking for 3 volunteers who are in long-term, committed, monogamous relationships, who specifically are dealing with something that feels crunchy, right? So if you're like, everything's fine in my relationship, then I would ask you maybe to defer this hot seat live reading to someone who's really up against something and really bumping up against something crunchy in their relationship and would really like support. Just because I can only get to 2 or 3 people. To be honest, it might be just 2 people today because I have a hard stop at 11. And when I've done this before, it took us over an hour, and I don't have that luxury of time. So we might just get to 2 people. But what I want everyone to know is that even if I'm just choosing 2 or 3 people today, that you can reach out to me via my email. I'm going to put my email in the chat right here. And I will send you a link to book a private 15-minute session. So if you don't want to be in the hot seat and witnessed by other people, which is so generous of you if you do, because other people are going to benefit from what the message that comes through today for you. But if you would rather it be private, then just reach out to my email that I put in the thread there, and I can send you a link for a same thing, free 15-minute slot. It'll just be private, not a live hot seat context. Yes, links don't work in the chat, so I just put my email in. It's not a link. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that reminder, Sarah. I appreciate it. So, yes, you reach out to me via my email. Some people have found me through other platforms, social media platforms, and have messaged me that way. So you're welcome to do that as well. Yay! I'm so excited to be with you. Okay, so a little bit about me. I am a relationship mentor. That's part of my design. And when you look in my natal chart, there's a lot of active parts of my chart that have to do with intimacy and relationship, which is pretty neat. And yeah, I don't have to get into what all those parts are, but just know that it's part of my design. It's what I've been always doing when I look through my whole life, is supporting people around relating and intimacy and eroticism. Essentially connecting to your power as a sensual being, and channeling your power as a sensual, sacred being into your relating. And that there's oftentimes not a lot of modeling out there for how to actually connect to your internal power, your erotic power, your sensual power. There's lots of words for it. Because where there are leaks in our power is where we end up having power imbalances in our relating. It makes so much sense, right? So yes, I am. I have, well, I'm a Libra, but I have so much Scorpio in my chart. It's not even funny. Yeah. Yeah. So, I would just love to see a little bit about me too. I've been a yoga teacher for, gosh, I think it's about 11 years now, leading, yogic energetic work. I've also been a shamanic healer for about 3 years, a life coach for 5. Um, so yeah, that's where all my trainings are, all in around life coaching, healing, energy movement, energy medicine. And so that's the toolkit that I bring today to my intuitive channeling, to support you. Yeah. So I personally, I'm 9 years in my relationship with my husband. We're married for 5 years, and we are very different beings. Now, I know they say opposites attract, and that's certainly the case with us. And the reason I share that, though, is because we've had to really bridge a lot of differences. So I'm an expert in supporting women who are in a relationship with another person who they love. Like, there's so much that works about your relationship. There's a lot of love there. There's a lot of functionality, but there's like a dissatisfaction. Like, I wish my partner was more spiritually oriented like me, or I wish my partner loved going to the personal growth workshops. And I find a lot of people here on Insight Timer resonate, because obviously you're personal growth aficionados, right? You're all here on some healing spiritual path, and it can be tricky. Like, how do I co-create life with someone who that's not their path? At least it doesn't look like mine. So it took me years more than I'd like to admit, to really, probably like at least 5 years of our 9-year relationship, to really discover the way that he shows up to his spirituality and personal growth, because I just thought it was completely absent, because he didn't want to go to the workshops with me, and it really was a problem. It caused a lot of problems for us in our relationship. So now I can say that in the last 2 to 3 years have been the best years of our relating, and like, there's so much more depth now available. There's so much more connection, more passionate in our intimate life. All these things that I'll speak for myself, that as a woman I craved, and I think a lot of women do. And he didn't really change who he was, except what I will say is he became more of who he truly is. Right? So I didn't have to wait for him to change, which is what I was doing, right? Like, so this is a very delicate, nuanced, complex topic, because most of us are like, if only my partner would fill in the blank, then we would have the relationship that I want. Then I would have the depth that I want. Then I'd have the connection or the passion or whatever it is that you want. And there's another way. There's another way to actually, without your partner having to change who they are, but it does have to do with them becoming more of who they truly are. And so I had to learn, any guesses out there, how to evoke that in him. And how do I evoke that in him is by becoming only more of who I truly am. And so so it's really internal game, and I go first. The work that I teach, the women go first. In all of my programming, the women really connect to who they truly want to be, and it evokes the most truest form of their partner, and that leads to recreations of their relating, which is really powerful work, and it's a blessing I have to do that. So can anyone relate to this? I'm so curious. I'd love to hear, does anybody have a partner where they're like, I love them so much is good in our world, but I don't have the depth that I really want, like we don't have those deep conversations that I really want because they're not really a spiritual person like me, or they don't go to the workshops with me. Very relatable, System C. Totally can relate to Sarah. Let's see if anyone else can relate to this. I'm just so curious because I know I've heard of a lot of women who are like, yes, this is my relationship, and it's not true for everyone. I've also met women whose partner is just as loves going to the workshops with them, and there's always a little part of me that's a little jealous. But once you experience deep fulfillment inside of your relationship with a partner who's very different from you, it becomes quite all right. Yes. So Ja says, when I talk about spiritual stuff, he seems confused and it makes you not want to share. Amanda says she very much relates. I want him to change and get closer emotionally and spiritually. I'm not fully satisfied, but I'm truly happy. Interesting. That last sentence I'm really curious about. Okay, so I'm going to pick my 3 volunteers. You know what? I'll be honest. We're not going to get to 3. I can just tell. So I'm going to pick 2 volunteers. And if there's a third one if you want to be my third volunteer and email me, or anyone who isn't chosen today, email me and I will send you a link to set up a 15-minute private time. I will come back on this week. I don't have it on the calendar yet, but I do plan on coming back, I think, Tuesday and Thursday. I don't know the times yet. So if you'd rather not be a hot seat in front of people, or if you can't make those times, feel free to reach out. Oh, my email link won't post? Oh, interesting. Even though it's not like a link? Interesting. So it's Urban Luna Coaching. I'm Jacqueline Urban Luna with Urban Luna Coaching. So that's pretty simple. Urban, like city, URBAN. Luna, like the moon. This is really my name. I was born and raised in Urban, and my husband's a Luna, and so my married name is really Urban Luna. Makes a beautiful business name. Urban Luna Coaching at gmail.com. Thank you. I guess maybe I just can't put the .com. Perfect. Thanks, Amanda. Yes, Sarah. Okay, got it. Now I know for future reference. No gmail.com. I see you spell it. Oh, so clever. Oh, and the last thing, I would be remiss if I didn't share the opportunity for you to make donations. So if the medicine that comes through today in this channeling supports you in any way, whether it's you in the live hot seat or someone else, or if you're observing and the messages are striking your heart and opening something for you, I encourage you to consider donating. And these donations go to a scholarship that I am creating, which I'm really excited about, to support women who want to dive deeper into this work, into my longer term programming, and would like financial support in that. So your donations will make a difference, and I really appreciate that. Lastly, if you do want to catch another live class, if you click on my face in the bottom, I think, right-hand corner of your screen, and follow me, then once you follow me, you'll be notified once I jump in again live. Okay, that's all the housekeeping. Let me see here. So who would like, I think some people already said that they're interested in receiving a card reading today. But if you could put in the chat once more, even if you already have, I'm interested, and I've been, I'm assuming if you're interested, you're meeting the qualifications of being in a long-term committed monogamous relationship. And there's something crunchy you're dealing with that you would like support around. Okay, great. So yes, Amanda's volunteering, Ja's volunteering, Simsy, Sarah. Okay, is that right? Okay, I'm just gonna let's see. I'm just gonna go. Let me feel into it. Let's see. I'm gonna go Ja and Simsy. You're going to be my 2 for today. And then Amanda, again, you can reach out to me or come back to another live event. I hope you can join us then. Same for you, Sarah. So, okay, thank you so much. And who knows, you might get the perfect message through one of these 2 here. So Ja and Simsy, are you ready? Okay, so Ja, we're going to start with you. Am I saying your name right? I'm hoping. Okay. All right, Josh. So go ahead and let me know. Perfect. What is it? How long have you been in relationship? Just so I can get the world of it. Um, and what is the? If you could really laser in on it, so you might need to close your eyes, take some deep breaths. I'll join you in doing that. In fact, I'm going to light my Palo Santo here, so we can drop into a deeper space together, because that's where a lot of the truth lies, and that's the place I'd love to operate from. So invite everyone to do the same. Connecting to your breath, slowing your mind, moving into your heart space, and even sending your energy down from your heart, slowly moving through your solar plexus, the seat of your willpower, down into your belly, the seat of your sensuality, your cyclical nature, down into your root, place of belonging, and the place where your deepest truth lies. Deepest desires. Also opening the channels of your upper chakras, opening your crown, activating your third eye pineal gland, and your throat. Feeling called to just have us all inhale and reach our arms overhead. And then bring your palms to touch like a lotus mudra. And exhale through your crown. Take another breath here at the crown. And exhale, bringing your energy down to the third eye, to your lips, throat, down to your heart. One more like that. Inhale from your heart. And then I changed to the Yoni Mudra, from the heart moving down your belly, through your solar plexus, sacral, into your root chakra. So just connecting with these beautiful wisdom centers. I have some pre-recorded audios on these wisdom centers if you're interested too, developing your wisdom with these. So now that we've presenced ourselves with these centers, I'd love to hear from you, Ja. How many years have you been in a relationship, and what is the one thing that you would love to be experiencing that you're not? What is the crunchy thing that you would love support around today in your relationship? Let us know in the comments. Okay, 12 years. Congratulations. That's beautiful. The thing I need most support with is how to fully open up to him sexually, spiritually, and trust more. Got it. And what's stopping you from fully opening up? Let's pick one. Let's pick one more specific lens. If you really had to dial it in, what is it that you really want to experience with him? Is it loving connection, a feeling of just yummy, we're connected, there's love streaming through us, it's a yumminess. I call it loving sanctuary in my work. Is it depth, truth telling, being really seen? If you had to pick one, right? We all want all these things. But if there was one thing that you really wanted to dial in today, the depth, the truth telling, the really being seen, the not hiding anything. Is it passion? Is it more around feeling the heat and the desire and the wanting of each other, more that can deal more with sexuality? Or is it your purpose, something that you feel you're up to together in the world? Our love and understanding each other could be so much more than what it is. Okay, so I'm hearing two things. You want more love and understanding, and you want more passion. So what I'll say when I look at those two, Ja, from my experience, is that the passion that I'm guessing that you want is going to come from a deeper sense of connection and understanding, right, of each other. So if you had to, maybe we won't end up dialing it in, but let me just ask one more question and see. Is it that you don't have an underlying, ever-present, yummy, lovey, affectionate, warm, gooey feeling? Or do you have that? Or is it some people have that warmth and ease and yummy connectedness, but they don't have the depth that they want? Things feel really yummy and loving, but I don't feel like I can share the deepest parts of me, or if I do, it rocks the boat too much, and then that disrupts the connection. Or it could be both. Because I'll in my work, passion usually comes more naturally forward as a result of deeper loving sanctuary and deeper truth telling and intimacy. Okay, so you have that kind of loving sanctuary already, Ja? The kind of yumminess. Okay, so it's the depth, it's the truth telling, it's the deep conversations, the feeling really met, really seen, that you would love more of. Yes. Okay. Can you already feel that the depth, there's something really spicy about it that leads to more passion when you drop into the feeling of deep relating and truth telling? There's something really sensational, I call it, about truth telling. It usually makes you sweat a little bit when you say things that are rock the boat a little bit or feel really vulnerable. Vulnerability really is a foundation for passion, for sure. Thank you, Ja. Okay. So why, if you had to drop in again, so if you want to take your breath, bring yourself through these wisdom centers, because this is not a question for your mind. This is a question for your brilliant being. So we check in with those wisdom centers to awaken your brilliance, your innate brilliance. Why don't you have that? Why don't you have the depth? And I know that's probably why you're here. But see, I would love to hear what hit you receive around that. Just ask, what's in the way of me telling the truth? What's in the way of being really seen. I lack trust. You lack trust in what and in who? Those are two questions. The body answer, not the mental answer. Thank you for being here with me, Jha. What do you lack trust in and with whom? So what do you not trust? And you look at that. You're scared of being hurt. So what and who do you not trust? Drop into that specific question. I'm going to put my timer on. We'll have about 5 minutes now. What don't you trust and who don't you trust? I wish I could see you. It's hard to see that you're not where you are. I don't trust that I'm enough. Mm-hmm. Yep. So what you're discovering is really powerful, and I'm curious if anyone else tuning in here is relating that at the heart of I don't share myself, I'm not met. The complaint is I don't have the depth with my partner that I want, is I'm afraid that if I did reveal myself, that I might lose love. That if I revealed myself, it might not be enough for this person to stick around. Or I'm not lovable enough in these truths. Scared he will change his mind, yeah, and look outward for what we don't seem to have, which is the depth. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that you're relating as well, Sarah and Amanda. Isn't that ironic? Right? So like there's this depth that you're longing for, that you're afraid to bring, this vulnerability of you. Can we make it more real, Jha? This will be more sensational. Are you open to going a little deeper? Quickly? Okay. Thank you. What is it that you want him to know about you? And it could be simply telling him that I really long to share more vulnerably. I want to feel you more vulnerably. And maybe that's not something you said, because that in itself can feel vulnerable. So what would that look like if you told him? What's the one thing that's right there that you could say that feels vulnerable? Mm-hmm. Are you willing to let him feel your heart? Or are you going to withhold it because you're afraid it's not enough? Intimacy is highly sensational. It's because it's vulnerable, because it's risky. So what if you could share your soul's desires, even if there is judgment, and not lose your center? Because the thing is, Jot, he doesn't understand spiritually and thinks it's weird. And what if that wasn't a problem? What if you got to share who you are, and he has whatever his judgments are, or his ideas of that it's weird, but he gets to know you? What if he loves you're weird, even if he judges it a little bit? So you can just look for yourself and anyone else who's tuning in. Is there something that you're like, well, that's not, about someone you love, where you're like, I don't know if I love that. For me, that's not really my thing, but it's kind of charming about them, or it's endearing. Or maybe not. Maybe you can't even feel the, that it's charming or endearing, but what if you could find a deeper love for that person, even if you don't find it charming or endearing? What if it's just like, wow, I just really love who this person is? Is that something that you could see that you're available for? Oftentimes we think other people aren't available for those things because we're not. So we're afraid. Like, I don't know if I can love, someone there, so they probably won't be able to love me there. Yeah. So the thing about being hard to face judgment, remember what I talked earlier about connecting to your own erotic power, your own sovereignty, sensual sovereignty. This is so important, Jod, because in the face of judgment or him thinking you're weird, whether he finds it endearing or not, but all the more if he doesn't find it endearing, there's a part of you that's like, okay, then he's gonna leave me because he thinks I'm weird and he can't handle it, and I'm gonna be left. And there's something wrong with me and I'm not enough. Right? There's a part of you that goes right to that. And this is where it's really important to do whatever work there is around, always inner child healing work, right? It's like almost always the answer. There's always some kind of wounding, for us to look at, and it's such a beautiful opportunity relationships give us to love on those tender parts of ourselves that perhaps were abandoned or judged, and love was withdrawn from you before, that may have happened to you in your life, right? So there's a good reason why we have these fears fly up. So now is an opportunity to love yourself through it, so that you can hold yourself even amidst his judgments, his ability to love you in these places he doesn't understand or agree with. And that's actually where the intimacy, the depth that you want, Jot, is. That's like the ironic part. It's like being in that, I'm sweating, I feel so vulnerable and exposed, and I'm going to hold on to myself and know that I am good and worthy of love, whether this person can show it to me now in this moment or not. But we don't do that. We project our power on whether the other person can love us here. And when they can't, for whatever reason, or they don't do it as well as we would like them to, we crumble. I've been there. Anyone else been there before? In the comments, where your partner doesn't receive you as well as you would have liked when you shared something vulnerable, and then you like crumble on the inside. Yeah. Sarah's been there before. Simpsy's been there before. Yeah. And you're scared of it happening again. Well, that fear of that happening again is taking you out of your power. Can you feel that? That you collapse out of your power. So the work for you, Ja, is going to be returning to that seat and staying there even when you feel those sensations of being exposed, or it might feel unsafe, right? Like, this feels really risky. You might have a little hypervigilance. Can you stay in your seat of power at the same time you're having this experience? This is where the healing comes in. This is where the intimacy comes in, right? And it's not a one-time thing, it's a practice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to pull a card for you, and then we're gonna move to Cincy. Do you have any questions on what I just shared, Ja, while I go ahead and pull the card? And I'd love to hear what's coming through for you, or is it just percolating? What are you receiving from this? And anyone else in the chat, what are you receiving from this for yourself? What I'm seeing too is that sometimes if our partner can't give us the love and the way that we would prefer it, is to also get that affirmation elsewhere. Now, this could come from other people in your community. This can come from source, like your divine guides. Ask them for affirmation. However, just notice if the last place you look is from yourself, right? So it's a both and. It's not something to just like, I have to like give myself everything. But notice where you put it on other people to reflect back to you your worth, when it really starts from you. And then the other people, the higher guides, that will complement your own knowing. But if you outsource your own inner knowing and let other people's reflections be primary, then the foundation for your self-worth will always be compromised. Hope that makes sense. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes, lean into the discomfort of vulnerability, because to be truly seen can be so blissful. It's so true what Amanda said. Even if your partner's like, I don't know what to do with this information, there's something really beautiful that happens. Like, wow, we're really here with each other right now, as opposed to avoiding it because you're scared they can't handle it. But honestly, you're scared you can't handle it. You're scared you can't handle it if they can't handle it. All the things. Can you feel that? It's all this like, I lose my power. Yes, exactly. Great. Thank you for that, Ja. Okay, I'm going to pull a card for you, and we're running out of time. So I'm going to do it fast. Extra support. Okay. Ooh, okay, so this one was upside down. So when it's upside down, it's extra support. This card deck is one of my favorites. It's called The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. And there are specific relationship messages. So this is called Chop Wood. I don't know about you, but as a spiritual practitioner, I'm always like, chop wood. It's the devotion and the tedium of showing up. So let's see what message and medicine you have around that. But there's so much richness in devotion, right? So much depth, in fact. So let's see what we have here for you. And Simsi, will jump right into yours. So Simsi, I invite you to go ahead and do your breath, connect to your wisdom centers, and connect to what is it that you would really love support on today. Chop wood. All right, Ja. The essential meanings: being grounded in everyday experience and humility. Okay, so your relationship message. Nothing is as important right now as just doing what you need to do day to day. Let your heart remember that not everything has to be hard won, passionate, or even obviously meaningful. Wow. I'm going to read that one again. Let your heart remember that not everything has to be hard won, passionate, or even obviously meaningful. I just want to pause on that because sometimes we're like pushing so hard to get the depth or the passion that we're not actually available for the depth that's already arising moment to moment in the mundane, right? Like in the, your partner's in the room with you and you just match your breath to theirs. Super simple, super mundane. There's a humility to that. It's not like the deep conversation necessarily, which there is, we spoke to that today. There's something there for you still in sharing your truth. But sometimes the place to get that, the depth that you're seeking is in the simplicity of a breath. And sometimes it's in the high sensation truth telling and staying with yourself. Okay. Relationships and friendships go through lulls when the everyday tasks are at the center of awareness. That is perfect now. Hold hands, wash dishes, make a fire, read a book, share a meal, say nothing, stare into space, pick up socks, tell a dumb joke, and leave space to breathe. The work, quote unquote, of your relationship right now is very simple. Just to be present. Funny how it takes work to just be. All is well, really. So really, I love this message for you because although there is more truth telling here for you, obviously to share with your mate, like where you feel vulnerable and afraid how they'll receive you. So there is still part of that. This is also reminding you not to like get overly significant about it, because that's what'll happen to us as women. Oftentimes we're like, okay, so I'm going to go be vulnerable now. We can create all sorts of like weird energy around it. And sometimes the depth can be in something simple, and sometimes it will be in the truth telling. Does this make sense, John? Okay, cool. Okay. There's also the protection message. I'm going to share a little bit about that too. The appearance of this card is a sign that you might be devoting far too much time to dreaming and talking about your dreams. You have to get out of the chair to make things happen. You actually have to do something. Start with a small task. So, basically what we're saying, right? It's like being present. It's the small things, experience the depth you want there, and then also take action in saying the truth and holding on to yourself through the vulnerability fire, the fire of vulnerability. I hope this supports you. All right, Simsy, and let me know, Ja, in the remaining 15 minutes that we have here, if anything else comes through for you around this messaging. I'd love to hear more from you. And again, a reminder to everyone who's tuning in, if any of this is opening your heart, or like, wow, this is actually going to shift how I'm relating to myself and my partner and my own power, I welcome your donations so we can fund this scholarship fund for the women who want to go deeper. Okay, thank you, Simsy. You're welcome, John. I'm 41, he's 45. We have been together for 5 years, married for 1.5. We've not been intimate for almost a year because he checked out and doesn't know how to reconnect. Got it. We were supposed to have a baby after marriage, but he changed his mind and said no last August. Got it. He said our differences were too much and we speak 2 different languages. Okay, we are currently in therapy, but I don't know if he can come back. He is a self-proclaimed realist and atheist. I'm spiritual and an idealist. Very interesting. Lots of, like I talked about at the very beginning, differences in who you be. There was fighting, blame, and trust issues during pandemic that amplified our differences. So now, okay, yeah, that's a lot, and we have got 13 minutes. So I still want to give you your full 15. So, yeah. So if we had to dial it in, right? Let me just drop into it. there's a lot of like, he's not capable, he's checked out, he's like this. I don't see how it's going to work, because he's actually kind of showing up like he doesn't see how it's going to work. Is that accurate? So you're receiving his communication like, I actually don't know if I'm up for this. But you are in therapy. Whose idea was therapy? Yeah, usually. And what did he say when you suggested therapy? He was into it. What did he say? Like, yeah, I'm totally down. Let's work this out. Or, okay, he was happy to try and figure it out. Okay, cool. So he has his doubts. Feels like you're too different, but I'm happy to figure it out. So he's willing. Amazing. I love hearing that. Okay. Let me see what else I see here. Mm-hmm. How's the therapy going? And what do you mean by I don't know if he can come back? There's still a possibility we can't get to having a family. Okay. Is that a non-negotiable for you, Cincy? Okay. Okay, got it. So for you, you are clear that creating a family is so important to you that even if you love your partner still, it would be denying a deeper truth for you to deny having a family, to stay in relationship with him if he doesn't want to start a family. Is that accurate? If you stayed with him and he didn't want to have a family, it would be denying a truth for you. Or could you stay with him, not have a family, and that would also be satisfying? Okay. Yes, which? What are you clear about around wanting a baby? Wanting to have a family? Okay. Okay, got it. So where does he stand on it now? When did he say yes? Was this before the therapy? Like way before? You mean before he changed his mind? Or did he say yes inside of therapy like 2 weeks ago? Okay, got it. And then after you're married, he's like, actually, I'm not a yes. Okay, got it. So I think my confusion is it sounds actually clear. So you're waiting for him to, because you don't want to release the relationship ideally, you're waiting for him to change, wake up someday now and be like, actually, I am a yes again. Is that what you're waiting? I got it. Okay, so there's something that I want to share here that my mentor often says, and it really always strikes me. Waiting is suffering. So waiting is a place that we come from. It's a place where we're not in our power. Can you feel the energy of that? So waiting is actually an abandonment of truth. Because even if you said, the truth is that I'm here to have a family, and if you're not up for that, then I'm willing to release the form of this relationship. Right? You would separate consciously and couple, whatever that looks like for you. But so what I hear is that you say that And then there's not actually, you don't actually stay in it. You don't stay from that seat, because from that seat, he would respond. Like, there's a response required when you say, this is what I'm a stand for. And I can't accommodate anything less, because it's just not true for me. And can you feel that there's like an open-heartedness to it, but a very grounded power in that? Can you feel that, Cincy? Yeah. I get it. Yeah, because it is devastating. Because you have this beautiful dream and you want to share it with this person, and they said yes, and then they're actually not a yes. And so, yeah. So I do, heartbreak is is going to be there. You know, there's grief, there's loss of what your dream was with this person. That's right. I love Bridget's reminding us truth is light. So waiting is suffering. Hope, hope can be a beautiful thing. It can also be a torture device. If you really want a family, you get to have that. And there's an attachment to the form of it being with this person because you love him, which makes sense. But do you see how, like, if it's compromising your truth, then the form with this person is actually not for the highest good of all. And I know that can be there can be a lot of grief there. Yeah. So the question is now, gosh, I mean, I'm sure it's torture for him too, because he knows that you're like waiting on him. I'm sure he cares about you. Obviously, he's willing to be in therapy with you. So this isn't a question of like, does he really love me, or do I really love him? Or like, of course you love each other. That seems pretty clear. And the truth is that you want something that he doesn't want. That's what it sounds like. And so what would you love to create with that information, instead of letting it take you down into like the abandonment place of like, I'm a like, well, let's just pause there. Do you feel how it takes you down into like, I don't want to lose this person? What do you feel in your body right now? Even, I know you mentioned you're feeling the emotions of it. You might feel like you're dying. What does it feel like to you? What does it feel like in your body to consider releasing? Yeah, grief and the abandonment. Do you have anything around the fear of being alone? Thank you for being so generous with your sharing too, Cynthia. Such a tender place. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I'm only getting older here, and this guy said yes, now he says no, and then if we separate, then I'm gonna, like, I can hear all the fear, those voices, right? Um, and that takes you out of your power. And they're natural, I get it. So we have to have, tools to not bypass fear, just like let ourselves be with the heartbreak, let ourselves be with like the terror of it, but knowing that that's not the only possibility, that's not the truth with a capital T, right? So it's like honoring your human experience, not bypassing it, but then also not collapsing into it, which is what we tend to do, is we collapse into this human experience. And we forget who we truly are. And who you truly are, Simsi, is that your truth will only lead you to more love and more abundance. If the form shifts with this man, that only means more love is coming to you. That only means that the truth of having a family is coming to you. It's a loss of a form. That's actually it. There's actually no loss of love, right? It's a form change. And so there's a natural grieving process, but there's an opening, there's a new beginning process in that loss of, okay, I grieve this form and I get to open up to the form that wants to come in, right? But by waiting for him, that's abdicating your power. Because you have the truth of it now for you. Because the difference would be, Simsi, if you felt like, actually, truly, I'm really deeply happy if we don't have a family right now. Or maybe even ever. Like, maybe that's a possibility I could live into. If you felt like there was a possibility you could live into that future and be deeply, truly satisfied, then there you go. But that doesn't sound like that's what's the case for you. It sounds like what actually I really would love to be deeply, truly satisfied is a family. And so there you have it. He gets to meet you in that truth and embark on that journey with you or not. And so it sounds like he's loves you and it's not true for him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. So what are you hearing for yourself? Mm-hmm. Like as far as next steps, because it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm just going to slide back into that comfort zone of waiting, because then I don't have to like rip the Band-Aid off and actually go through the form change. But the family you want is on the other side of the form change. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. So I'm going to pull a card for you, Simsi, to support you in the fear, because that's natural to feel that fear and that in this change in the unknown, and trusting that when you are true to yourself, when you stay in your own power, that it's saying yes to having what you want come to you. When you're waiting, it's actually deferring what you want to come to you. Yeah. What a powerful opportunity. And what a rich gift from this relationship to claim yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I feel you, Simsi. Thank you so much for being so generous with us. Let me pull a card for you and then we'll complete our time. Okay, this one is also upside down. So there's extra medicine, extra protection for you. And this card says, not for you. Fascinating. So let's see what the medicine is for you. I don't know if you felt that one. Yeah. Spirit's got a message for you, extra love for you. And then I'm really going to have to run pretty quickly. I'm sorry about that. So again, you can go to send me an email, urbanlunacoaching@gmail.com if you want a session. Okay. And I'll be back on this week. So follow me so you can stay tuned to my next live readings. Not for you. A clear knowing that something is being denied to you. Rejection is God's protection. Oh God, this is so for you. How much does Spirit love you, Simsi? Oh, Spirit loves you so much. Okay, let's see. The medicine. Are you ready for the medicine? Yes. Don't chase after what flees from you. It's giving me tears. Don't obsess over what eludes you. Don't bang your head against the wall. There is nothing romantic about what is unavailable. Holy crap, this is for you. No prize given for torturing yourself. And nothing to be gained by refusing to see the red flags that have been waving since you began your pursuit. Oh my gosh, I have so many goosebumps right now. Now is the time to walk away. There are other goals, other loves, other games, other successes waiting for you. The way out of obsessing is radical acceptance and surrender. Spirit only wants the best for you. This is a sign that you have something much better waiting for you. Trust. Yeah, really, really powerful, Cynthia. I'm so moved. Woo! All right. Well, I can't wait to do this again. Thank you so much for those jumping in. I'd love for you to share what you received from the messages for Ja and Simsi today. Where do you see yourself being able to experience depth and intimacy like Ja in truth telling and in the mundane? And where do you see that perhaps you've been waiting and it's time to stand in your truth and ask someone to meet you there and actually honor their response and then take action? Because honoring your truth is honoring them too. Yeah. Yay, we're all supporting you, Cincy. So much love. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Love you all, and stay tuned for when I jump on later this week, or I hope to see some of you in my email. And yes, absolutely, Amanda. And what was the last thing I was going to say? Oh, yes, you could just learn more about my programming if you want to go deeper into this work of connecting to your erotic power as a woman and having deeper fulfillment in your relationships. You can go to my link in my bio, and I'd love to connect with you even deeper. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next time.